Thanks for joining us on your statewide news. It is Wednesday. I'm Andrea Lutz. New numbers are out when it comes to Montana's fight against COVID-19. Health officials reporting 111 new cases this afternoon. The largest jump in numbers is again Yellowstone County with 56 new cases. Yellowstone County continues to have roughly 650 active cases. Bighorn County reporting its 14th COVID-19 related death. The number of confirmed cases across the state is creeping toward the 6,000 case mark. As the number of coronavirus cases around the globe increases to about 22 million, some countries are succeeding in eliminating the virus. Others continue to struggle. Ian Lee shows us the divide.
It's an unusual sight in these unusual times. A pool party in Wuhan, the epicenter of the coronavirus outbreak. You won't find any social distancing or masks here, as China reports no new local cases. But much of the rest of the world continues to tread water. South Korea reported a spike in cases linked to a megachurch in Seoul. Angry church members scuffled with healthcare workers after authorities tightened social distancing rules and banned all in-person services. Officials warn the situation in Asia could get worse.
We believe it's a signal that we've entered a new phase of the pandemic in the Asia Pacific.
UK police raided a house party with more than 200 people in Manchester over the weekend. The World Health Organization warns it's this group, people in their 20s, 30s, and 40s, that's driving the spread of the virus.
Many are unaware they're infected with very mild symptoms or none at all. This can result in them unknowingly passing on the virus to others.
And in Lebanon, the government has ordered a 2-week lockdown. But that will be difficult for the hundreds of thousands left homeless after the massive explosion in Beirut earlier this month. Frantic and injured people swarmed hospitals in the aftermath, leading to a spike in COVID-19 cases. Ian Lee, CBS News, London.
The global death toll from the coronavirus is now over 780,000 people. Classes are back at MSU in Bozeman, and having students back means good economic news for businesses. Business owners say they always get a boost from students returning after summer, but after COVID-19 shutdowns, they're even more appreciative. Tourism dollars haven't been as kind to Bozeman, and they've had to rely on local support.
The students are 100% part of this Bozeman community. They always have been. And so we know that their place in this community is a big deal. Their economic support, their energy, the vibrancy of our community. And so the students play a big role.
And to put it in perspective, a lack of tourism in the area, this means that Yellowstone National Park's gate numbers have been down nearly 30% just this year alone. Well, the Bear Creek fire burning near Dillon continues to grow, now burning at more than 7,500 acres, still only 10% contained. Crews don't expect to have the fire under control until the end of September. Close to 500 people are working on this fire, both from the air and on the land. One special concern in the area, though, is those recreating on Clark Canyon Reservoir. They should be aware that aircraft is using the water. In California, the governor declared a statewide emergency as 30 large fires scorched the state. California's power grid operator pleading with residents to continue conserving energy and avoid rolling blackouts. A fire northeast of San Francisco was approaching wineries in the Napa Valley. Footage from there shows 2 homes burning. Evacuations are ordered all over the northern part of the state. Fire concern definitely a thing right now as we are in the hot temperatures, but we are going to check in with Ed McIntosh because he is tracking changes in the weather that could be coming in Montana. Hi.
Hi. Yeah, we already have a bit of a change in that we've got a line of showers and thunderstorms moving in. The problem is it's also generating some lightning, so we have those fire weather concerns. But western Montana, you're starting to see things dry out a bit with most of the showers right through the midsection of the state. You can see where the rain has been falling around Great Falls. Cools temperatures down now to the 60s, and the winds have been a little gusty with that front moving through. Again, those areas are concerned with the winds pickup. Helena, showers earlier, now starting to rebound into the 70s. Right now, 78 in Bozeman, the clouds increasing, and a little more sunshine around the Billings area, sitting into the 70s, but could be much hotter by the end of the afternoon. Closer look at the forecast coming up.
The United States Postmaster General has changed courses under pressure from Congress over recent cost-cutting measures. In a statement, Louis DeJoy said, "We will deliver the nation's election mail on time and within well-established standards." He also says the American public should know this is our #1 priority between now and Election Day. He also assured Americans retail hours at post offices will not change. Mail equipment and blue collection boxes will remain where they are. No mail processing facilities will be closed, and overtime will continue. This comes on the heels of Montana Senator Jon Tester introducing his Post Act. The measure would put a 180-day freeze on the removal of mail collection boxes. The new bill requires boxes removed in mid-June to be put back. It also prohibits removing additional collection boxes until a report is submitted to Congress. And on the national stage, Joe Biden is now officially the Democrat Party's nomination for President of the United States. It became official after delegates from each state cast their votes. Looking forward to tonight, Biden's choice for VP, Kamala Harris, will speak. Biden will close the convention Thursday with his official acceptance speech. As the DNC rolls on in Milwaukee, the Trump administration won't miss their chance to reach Wisconsin voters as well. Today, Vice President Mike Pence is traveling to the state where he'll speak about efforts to get Americans back to work. It's the second trip to Wisconsin for the White House this week. President Trump held a campaign event there on Monday. Still more news to come on this Wednesday on the New News, including this, a revisit to a story that happened almost 30 years ago. We remember a brave Silverbow County sheriff. But first, Ed is back in with a look at that statewide weather forecast.
Weather starts now with meteorologist Ed McIntosh.
Welcome back to the New News. Temperature is a bit of a contrast. We have 70s here from Cutbank, only 65 in Great Falls where we've had those rain showers moving through. And then look out ahead of that line, 80s in Lewistown, 88, but all the way up to 96 in Glendive and Jordan here already as of midday. 93 in Glasgow, Williston, North Dakota, and Miles City. So while the heat is building, we also have the clouds moving through. And for you in western Montana, you've seen a lot of the showers already pass through and now creating some wind here in north central Montana, along with those showers and thunderstorms, with some of the wind gusts hitting to near 40 miles an hour. And we'll see more of that as that disturbance continues to move into these lighter winds into the eastern plains. The humidity also a big contrast, with readings up at 70% right now in Great Falls behind those showers, but only into the teens to low 20s across the eastern plains. So as we start to mix some of the warmer air into the afternoon, we'll see another heat advisory for northeastern Montana with the 90s to triple digits for daytime highs. Fire weather concerns here through central Montana, where we've had that storm system moving through here as of midday. And along with it is creating some lightning as well. That's the blue flickers that you see on your screen as that disturbance continues to move through. There has been a little bit of moisture reaching the ground, but really nothing terribly significant for any of the reports that we've had so far, and it's fairly fast moving. So here's the disturbance moving by. So as that front continues to shift across the eastern plains through this afternoon, that heat advisory, red flag warnings, isolated showers and thunderstorms that'll favor areas of southern Montana and northern Wyoming this afternoon, creating more of these wind gusts and creating the potential for some wildfire starts there as well. Now, as that front moves through tomorrow, we lose the heat advisories, but we're looking at these green shaded areas, mainly east of the divide, for the possibility of a few more of these storms that are going to continue to generate some of the stronger winds. A little moisture to go along with it as well, but it's going to be pretty limited. As we get into Friday, generally all of Montana and northern Wyoming getting under another high pressure ridge, and that means warming and drying conditions again. And we could especially see the temperatures start to spike in the eastern plains by the time we get into Saturday afternoon. So with the storm system moving through, we could see some recovery for you in western Montana today. Highs in the 80s to low 90s through central and western Montana. The real heat here, where the heat advisory is into effect around the Fort Peck region, with those isolated showers and thunderstorms generating wind through this afternoon. 50s and 60s for the overnight lows. As we get into tomorrow, again, these green shaded areas indicate where we have the potential for a few more of these storms that'll generate periods of, well, at least isolated showers and thunderstorms that could put a little moisture down, but wind is the biggest concern overall. So for areas in western Montana, looking at a little bit of cloud cover heading into tomorrow. Temperatures will be mainly in the 80s. We'll warm up a bit on Friday under that high pressure ridge. For Great Falls and Helena, we've had showers and thunderstorms already moving through for you today, and we'll see a bit more action tomorrow as that next disturbance, but warm and dry conditions heading into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Butte and Bozeman looking at temperatures in the 80s for the daytime highs, lows mainly into the 50s with scattered isolated showers or thunderstorms today or tomorrow before it starts to settle down again. Glendive and Billings especially hot with isolated storms. Billings, a chance of showers or thunderstorms late today. There's a look at the weather. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Ed. This is a story that you may remember out of Butte some 30 years ago. A Silver Bow County sheriff known for surviving a car bomb passed away this week. MTN's John Amy takes us back to when it was all caught on tape.
Butte law enforcement is honoring the memory of former Butte Sheriff Bob Butorovich, who died this week. Butorovich became known around the world in a widely circulated video as the man who survived a car bombing in Butte more than 30 years ago. It was on December 20th, 1989, when Terry Roslin rigged his car with explosives and had a standoff with police at the intersection of Montana and Broadway. Officers remember Butorovich's bravery that day.
You know, he went up to that vehicle thinking he could solve the problem, and the male inside that vehicle exploded the car, and he was right on the front lines of that.
Former police officer Dan Hollis was with Butorovich the day he was blown up and remembers how he kept his composure.
His clothes were on fire when he was trying to get his jacket off, but he was still trying to get Terry under control at that point. But he just didn't know exactly where Terry was at that point because he was a little disoriented also because of the explosion.
Amazingly, Butorovich was not seriously injured.
Went to the hospital, got checked out, and was back on duty. He never took a day off or anything like that. He was just again, he was dedicated to the citizens of Butte.
The incident involving Sheriff Butorovich happened at this intersection more than 30 years ago, and it's still studied by law enforcement today and has changed their tactics greatly.
We did an after-action report to review our actions and see where things could be improved, and what other different protocols we could put in place because of this incident.
Officers who knew him won't forget his legacy.
He was just a sheriff that cared about people. You know, was a nice guy, great big monster of a guy, if you ever met him. But he was, I think he had, in his heart, he had the people of Butte first.
In Butte, John Amy, MTN News.
Such a compelling story from 30 years ago, a part of Montana's big history. Your latest Ag News is coming up next with Russell Nemens.
Growers Association is having their mid-year meeting here in Billings, and with us on today's program is MSGA President Fred Wacker from Miles City. And Fred, given all the craziness this year with COVID-19 and with strict social distancing measures in place here at this meeting, I bet it feels pretty good for yourself and your membership to come together for an actual meeting, because you guys do cover a lot of important business here at this mid-year.
Well, absolutely. We are absolutely thrilled to be in Billings in person, or you can be virtual with us for live cattle marketing. And we wanted to have this in June. The rules didn't allow it to have it in June, so we watched and we got down here next to our big Foundations golf tournament. and we are having a good turnout. We've got a lot of people who are talking about real issues in the cattle business, and I think it's great. We're following all of the rules, social distancing, and the whole deal. So we're excited about it. We're going into into this day with all of our committee meetings, and we've got an absolutely wonderful day planned.
Well, one of the biggest issues, whether it was during this pandemic or even before, Fred, has been the cattle market, and you guys are discussing this at length here at the MSGA mid-year meeting in Billings this week.
Absolutely. It's the number one issue because these times are very tough. Expenses go up, and ranching, we have to have profit in it. And so we're happy to be working on that. There's a lot of ideas that we're looking at, and we've got several topics going on. We were recently at the NCBA business meeting in Denver, and we came out of there with a wonderful endorsement of working on these projects. We are following that here, and we are excited with what's going to happen here today.
All right, well, stay with us, friends. We're going to talk some more with MSGA President Fred Wacker right after this. Our discussion today with Montana Stock Growers Association President Fred Wacker from their mid-year meeting here in Billings. And of course, another big issue this year, Fred. Earlier this year, we signed a historic trade agreement with China, followed up with the USMCA. Trade is very important for Montana's beef cattle industry.
Trade is so important, Russell, that don't forget the Japanese trade agreement. Don't forget what I call the new NAFTA with Mexico and with Canada. All of these four great trade agreements. Any excess beef we don't eat in the United States and products off of the carcass that we don't use here, we can sell that and we can get money, and that adds value. Over $300 to $400 per head is going into the foreign markets. That's a big thing, and a good chunk of that is we're trying to steer to the ranchers and to the cattle growers.
Especially during these challenging times that COVID-19 has delivered us here in 2020. Our thanks to Fred Wacker, MSGA President from Miles City, Montana, for joining us here on today's Farm and Ranch News.
Well, the salmonella outbreak linked to onions is growing. The Centers for Disease Control say contaminated onions infected almost 900 people in 47 states. Montana and Wyoming both have about 15 reported cases. The CDC also adding new products to the recall list, including cheese dips made with onion. Those were sold May 15th through August 6th at a variety of grocery stores. Most of the cases in Montana were from people who ate onions at restaurants. People working to rebound from the pandemic were forced to rethink their spending habits. It turns out a stagnant economy in March and April didn't stop people from saving money. A new report shows 1 in 5 Americans saved at least $1,000 this summer. 47% they say they spent less money. The survey of 1,500 people, including Americans from every adult age group, say the 3 areas where they cut back expenses: traveling, going out at night, and personal care. Gosh, I think a lot of us probably saved a little bit of money through the pandemic. I know my hair hasn't been done in months.
Yeah, that's one of those things, you know. We start to see the shift back into the summertime temperatures, and we're spending a lot more time close to home, and our temperatures regionally will be fairly close to where we would see averages for this time of the year. A lot of 80s to low 90s in western Montana. A few storms rolling through Great Falls and Helena today and tomorrow. We've already had some wind and some showers around here through the morning hours. Butte and Bozeman, also some chance of a shower or thunderstorm over the next 48 hours. Temperatures will trend a little bit warmer in towards the weekend, and hot temperatures across the eastern plains will continue with some especially hot readings even through Saturday.
Ed's tracking a lot when it comes to weather. Hopefully you have a great day out there today.